Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our 2020 to 2021 pre-legislative convention. And with that, I now call our pre-legislative session to order. Now, obviously, this is a very different medium from our typical pre-legislative session, but first and foremost, we are planning on operating this similar to our elections convention, converting the typical one-day event into multiple training sessions in the coming weeks. Now, I know a lot has changed since the last time we convened together. The stock market is exploding. We have a brand new presidential administration. But despite the changes, our country is still beset on all sides by the problems that it's now had for years. But just as we have our negatives in today's world, we have our positives. In a time where the seat of our government is susceptible to attack, the essence of what government should be is encapsulated within our program. It's a reason why I love it, and it's a reason why I've stuck with this program now for 4 years. If elections convention was the spark that starts our year and model is the full culmination, pre-leg is what glues the entire year together. It's where the newer delegates can learn the ropes, and it's where the older members can learn the nuances of debate. I'm incredibly excited to jump in yet again at our pre-legislative convention here in 2021. And throughout all of the trainings, all of the lectures, all of the debates, I want you all to remember what makes this program great. And remember what makes the students, delegates, and officers of the PA Youth in Government more cohesive and effective than even our counterparts in real government. And now with that, it is my honor to introduce our youth governor, Zachary Donaldson.
All right, and thank you, Parker, for that wonderful speech. Welcome, delegates. I'm incredibly excited to kick off our 2020 pre-legislative conference and begin some of our final preparations before model. But to start our ceremony, I wanted to begin by analyzing some of the historical context we're in. On August 24th, 1814, a sea of red swarmed Washington. British troops under the command of Major General Robert Ross had just defeated American forces in Bladensburg, Maryland, earlier in the day and had set their sights on DC. Citizens notified of the approaching army had fled prior, but those who remained would see an image that would be both figuratively and literally burned into our nation's history. Shortly after 8 p.m., the Capitol was set ablaze. The British would set forth great bonfires in the most principal rooms of the building, destroying iconic statues, thousands of records from the Library of Congress, and even the Supreme Court chambers. French Minister Louis Serrier, who watched the carnage from his residence, remarked that he had never beheld a spectacle more terrible and at the same time magnificent. A nation that was not even 40 years old was put on its heels, its destiny hanging in the balance from a foreign enemy. Over 2 centuries later, or just a few weeks ago, another sea of red swarmed the Capitol. Donning anti-Semitic garbs, Confederate flags, QAnon banners, and weapons of war, a mob of hundreds rushed to topple the pillar of democracy. Fueled by contempt and empowered by egregious lies, we saw them wage a war on both humanity and reality. They bruised, battered, and killed police officers. They trashed the offices and chambers that have been used to make people freer and safer for decades. They called for the execution of duly elected officials, and perhaps most terrifying, they were mere moments away from achieving that goal had it not been for the heroics and quick thinking of a cop named Eugene Goodman. A nation seen as the city on a hill was put on its heels, its destiny hanging in the balance from a domestic entity. The events of January 6th will undoubtedly go down as a deep and painful stain on this country's history. Textbooks will have to use the word insurrection, coup, and riot to define a day that is supposed to symbolize the peaceful transition of power. Participants in and enablers of the carnage should be condemned and punished with the strongest possible terms and the swiftest possible action. Yet angry as I had ever been, I was surprised to find words of encouragement from leaders I couldn't disagree with more on most issues. Returning to the floor shortly after a rabid cult called for his hanging, Vice President Mike Pence remarked simply, yet firmly that the people's work would continue. Mitch McConnell held that the United States would not be intimidated or kept out of its home by mobs, thugs, or threats. And hours later, the next president of the United States was congressionally confirmed. Delegates, we can draw many lessons from this dark hour in America, but I believe the most important one is this: never ever doubt the importance of what we do here. Yeah, it's easy to discount youth in government as nothing more than advanced student council. The bills we pass don't immediately become law. Our elections aren't legally binding. Many of our members cannot yet legally cast a vote, myself included. Yet this program instills in its participants all the values required for the functioning of a healthy democracy: winning and losing gracefully, facts over fiction, reverence for the law. Values that are all but absent from many who occupy office today. So as you press on into your officer preparation, bill writing, and meet and greet sessions in the coming weeks, consider them training for the preservation of a world we all so delicately cherish. Americans are in no current danger of falling to any enemies foreign, but we are increasingly threatened by those domestic. Yet with the resilience and goodwill of people like you, my fear turns into hope and my resolve is strengthened. Now, regarding this pre-legislative session, I'm incredibly excited to update y'all on a few things regarding admin. First off, congratulations to all those who were selected. And if you applied and haven't heard back, make sure to check your emails and DMs. We'll have our first meeting in the coming weeks and overview a lot of the different bills filing in from all of our wonderful delegates across the state. Regarding new executive branch functions this year, we'll finally be instituting the long-awaited fiscal notes policy, so keep in touch for that. And that's all I have. Let me pass it off to your newly elected Gold Speaker of the House, Mr. Ayush Verma.
Hey everyone, my name is Ayush Verma, and I will be serving as your Gold Speaker of the House this year. So in case you don't know me, I'm a junior this year, and I hail from the Hershey High School delegation. I just want to say I'm super excited to work with everybody this year, especially all of you Gold representatives, and I can't wait to meet hopefully most of you at representative training. I know this year is different with everything being virtual, everything being on Zoom, but I'm confident we can enjoy pre-leg and model this year, and I can't wait to see some great debates. With that, I'll pass it off to your Gold Lieutenant Governor, David DeViver.
Thanks, Ayush. Hey guys, for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm David DeViver, and I am this year's Gold Lieutenant Governor. I am looking forward to working with all of you this year. I'm especially excited to work with all of my upcoming senators so we can make the chambers the best it can be. And I encourage all of you, especially our senators, to make the most out of our training to ensure that we are fully prepared for the strange year of YAG. In these trying times, I hope we can work together and unite as a program and have a truly fantastic year. With that, I'll transition over to Moise.
Yeah, thanks, David. And hey, everyone, I am super pumped to finally get pre-leg underway. And just as everyone said, although this is not the year we would have hoped for, the rest of the presiding officers and I have been working constantly to make both pre-leg and model the best it can possibly be. In fact, I think I can go beyond that and speak on behalf of the presiding officers to say that we are not only excited for this conference and what's to come thereafter, but also confident that it will be an exceptional experience. In these next few weeks, we will be working to ensure that every delegate is properly informed about all of the changes and/or additions we will be making to provide an amazing model weekend for everyone. As such, all leadership training will entail extensive and thorough explanations of all new procedures for this year, so there's no need to worry about being confused or lost. And with that being said, I'm hopeful that pre-leg will be a smooth, effective, and enjoyable experience. And I look forward to working with all of you to make this obscure shift from in-person to virtual pre-leg a memorable experience for everyone. And with that, I'll hand it off to your Chief Justice, Jasmine Mackley.
Thank you, Moise. Hello, everyone. I hope that you're all doing well. And for those of you that are in Judicial, I hope that you're enjoying the case. To start, I'd like to make sure that everyone is aware of the Judicial training dates. Justice training will be on February 3rd, and attorney training will be on both February 13th and February 24th. All of the trainings will be from approximately 7 to 8:30 p.m. They'll be similar to an in-person session. The format will just be adapted slightly to the virtual setting, and the content will be streamlined due to the shorter time frame. I'm so excited to see you all then and to have the opportunity for some justice attorney collaboration. On another note, if you have not yet filled out the attorney info form for your team, please do so as soon as possible. After registering on the Wild Apricot website, this form is available on the Judicial page under Judicial Links and Materials. It is important that you complete this as it is required in order for you to be assigned to a side. If you have completed the form, there is a Google Sheet linked on the Judicial page that will include your team's number or letter and your side. We have been working hard to develop the best judicial experience possible, both for the pre-legislative session and our model convention. I'm hoping to create a judicial Instagram account in the near future, co-run with the rest of the bench to foster additional justice attorney interactions. Overall, I'm just extremely excited to be able to share this experience with all of you and to work together to have the best year we can. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions or concerns. That being said, I'll pass it off to Bella for updates about press.
Thank you, Jasmine. Hi, delegates. If you don't know me already, I'm Bella Szczeski, and I'm your editor-in-chief this year. I have a few announcements regarding press, but first, I would like to congratulate everyone that was accepted to the press corps this year. I'm very excited to be working with all of you. And if you don't know what I'm talking about and still are unsure of your place in press, make sure you check your email because acceptances were sent out on Wednesday. As for press pre-ledge training, we will be having a welcome meeting to get to know each other, do some fun icebreakers, and discuss some important topics for later in the year. Along with this Zoom, you will also be required to join a Zoom meeting for your specific branch. More information on these meetings will be sent to you from my editor email. I cannot wait to begin training with you all in the next few weeks. I'm looking forward to hearing all of your ideas and making use of all of your creativity. With pre-ledge being virtual this year, we have the opportunity to build our social media, which I'm very excited about. So delegates, be on the lookout for some amazing content from the press corps very soon. And lastly, I just wanted to say that if you feel lost, confused, or behind in this virtual setting, do not feel afraid to reach out to me or any of your other presiding officers. We are here to navigate you through this unprecedented time, and we will do anything we can do to help. And to wrap things up, here's Moise with some closing remarks.
Yes, thank you, Bella, and thank you everyone for listening today. We are all very, very hopeful for an amazing pre-ledge and model experience, and make sure to frequently check Wild Apricot for updates and make sure to register for model if you haven't already.